In his essay Simulacra and Science Fiction, Baudrillard argues that traditional science fiction has lost its meaning in a world ruled by simulation and hyperreality. He begins by describing three stages of simulacra. The first is based on imitation of nature, the second on industrial production and expansion, and the third on simulation through models and information. Classical science fiction fits with the second order, where machines and energy drive imagined worlds. However, today's world has entered the third order, where simulation and control through models dominate. In this phase, fiction no longer offers imaginary worlds separate from our own. Instead, simulation becomes part of everyday life, making fiction and reality hard to tell apart. Science fiction once imagined other worlds or futures that were far from current reality. These stories created a sense of distance between the real and the imagined, which allowed for creativity, exploration, and critique. But now this distance has disappeared. The world is already full of simulations, and science fiction has become just another version of the present. It no longer shows us something different or new. Instead of creating imaginative futures, it ends up replaying the past or copying the present in high detail. He uses examples like Philip K. Dick and J.G. Ballard to show how modern science fiction has changed. In Dick's work, there were no longer other planets or alien worlds. Everything takes place inside a world of total simulation where reality has collapsed. Ballard's Crash is another example. It is not really fiction anymore because everything in it is part of our everyday hyperreal world, technology, death, sex, and media, all mixed into one big system. The novel does not imagine the future, it reflects a present so strange that it feels like fiction, even though it is real. In his work Crash, simulation has replaced the difference between reality and fiction. He also talks about how science fiction used to be about space exploration, a reflection of the real world expansion of frontiers. But now that the world has been mapped, coded, and controlled, there is no unknown space left for the imagination. The universe has closed in, and the dream of utopia is gone. What remains is a recycling of known images, signs, and models. Modern science fiction, when it exists, tries to recreate old realities with extreme precision, but without meaning or purpose. It becomes a desperate hallucination of a world that has already disappeared. He suggests that science fiction is no longer a separate genre. It has been absorbed into everyday life, as reality itself has become science fiction. Hyperreality makes it impossible to tell what is real and what is imagined. As a result, science fiction can no longer serve as a window into the unknown. Instead, it becomes just another form of simulation in a world where all meaning exploded. The true science fiction of today is not in books or movies, but in the reality around us, which is stranger than anything we could invent.